Hello, hiya, welcome to the Create a Life You Adore podcast. So today I'm actually going to be introducing you to something which is so powerful in helping people to not only create a fantastic night's sleep, but to create a life they adore. So you're in the right place. I'm going to actually share so if you're listening to this on a podcast, this is also on YouTube. And if you want to watch the video, because I'm going to be sharing some slides, you can check it out there. So let me just do that for a moment. Okay, fantastico. So I am Jerry Manor McMahon, and thank you so much for being here. I'm a qualified coach. Many coaching qualifications. I'm a sleep consultant and so much more. And I'm not saying that to be big-headed, but I had a bit of an addiction. I still have an addiction to learning. But I'll talk about that later. And you know what I've studied or what I'm qualified in. But I just wanted to let you know that today what I'm going to be sharing with you is the method. And you're going to discover the 5 steps to creating a wonderful night's sleep every night. And then I might tickle you and urge you to think about what is a life you adore. Once you're sleeping fantastically, you're going to have a lot more energy, excitement, vibrancy, focus, okay? So that you have even more of a life you adore. So today is not for you if you want someone else to do the work, to take the action, to take those steps for you. Okay, this method is incredible, but it does take work and it takes commitment. So if you're not willing to open your mind, to open your heart, so that you can finally create the health, vitality, and so much more that you deserve, then this might not be right for you. But if you're not willing to let what you know and what you've been taught and told, what you believe, to just pause for the duration of this training, of this podcast, then this might not be for you. But this is for you. If you're an aspirational person that can't understand why you don't get a great night's sleep every night, and if you're willing to do whatever it takes to finally sleep amazingly and achieve health, vitality, and a life you adore. Today is for you if you're curious about what else you can create. Why are you here? It's not to have grim sleep, it's to have amazing sleep and so much more. So today is for you, if you're willing to allow the past to go so that you can finally sleep amazingly and embrace and create a wonderful new future starting right now. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. It'd be a bit crazy if it was just me chatting away to nobody. So thank you. Today, I'm going to teach you the 5 steps to creating a fantastic night's sleep. There are some myths and beliefs and things that people believe that might stop them from creating an amazing night's sleep. And I'm just going to mention a couple of them right now. Many people just focus on the conscious mind, but actually it's the unconscious mind that's creating what they don't want, okay? And very often, many people have tried lots and lots of different things, but they're stuck in the problem. They're stuck in the problem of them not sleeping well, okay? That means they're out of emotional alignment with what they really do want, so they can't create it. And people think if they'll ignore it, that it'll sort itself out. And that doesn't work. So I may as well give up. I've tried everything. There's something wrong with me. I'm not like others. All of these myths and beliefs. And here's the thing. You're in the right place if you can just let those go. If any of those resonated with you, okay? So I talked briefly about my qualifications earlier. I used to be a successful TV producer, living what looked to be the dream come true life, okay? Hanging out with celebrities, guest lists, film premieres, all of that stuff. But I was actually falsely positive, and I was very much lacking purpose, passion, most importantly, excuse me, peace of mind. And I had terrible health, horrendous insomnia. And I actually studied and became qualified in a lot of these things. I'm qualified in many, many different coaching modalities, healing modalities, you know, Reiki, Shiatsu, shamanism, many, many shamanic qualifications. But I was a bit addicted to learning, and I used to use vision boards, affirmations, the law of attraction, the secret, transcendental meditation, most other meditations, crystal healing, traditional Chinese medicine, the I Ching. I was addicted at one point in my life to oracle cards and tarot cards, Ho'oponopono, NLP, intuition, you name it, I did it. Now, what was really interesting was, even with all of these things, when I transitioned from being a TV producer, I finally gave up that job and moved into becoming a healer. What was very interesting, even though my clients were having great success, for me, I could never hold on to good health, never mind success. And I see that in the world. And I realized that there was something missing, you know, even with all of the work that I'd done. And then what initially felt like a horrible realization was that I created it, you know, the illness, the getting success and then losing it, all of these things that I didn't want. Really sad, but I realized this is my creation, okay? And then I thought, well, hang on a second. If all of these modalities work, why isn't everyone vibrantly healthy and full of amazing energy? Like, why isn't everyone living their dream with whatever it is for them? Wealth, abundance, love, success. I had all of these questions, and I went searching for the answers. Okay, tied in a little bit with my addiction for learning. And I left TV, my job as a TV producer, oh my God, what year was it? But it was over 2 decades ago. And in that time, the answers came to me, okay? The first one was the intuition and alchemy. The second one, you got to be it to see it. And the third one, rewiring the brain. So let me go into each of these. So the first answer was learning about alchemy and transforming our hard times, learning about the intuition and magic, and how important it is to have a true vision, to have clarity on what you would love. My shiatsu practice transformed when I started asking people, rather than, you know, they come and see me and they have a problem, I would start asking them, what would you love? Okay, so someone comes to me, they've got they've got a problem with their wrist, okay, probably because they've been typing too much or whatever. And I'd ask them, what would you love? And we'd get down to, okay, well, I'd love to be able to play tennis again. Okay, this is an example. So what's happened is when they're imagining themselves playing tennis, They're not focused on the problem. They're focused on the end result. And this is huge. And this is such a great, a massive part of what I share, what I teach nowadays. Okay. When we have clarity on our true vision, and that can be as big as our purpose or our calling or having a house by the sea or whatever. But for this person, this example, it was, I want to play tennis. I want to be able to play tennis, Jerry. When we've got clarity on what we would love, and have a think about this in terms of you and creating a great night's sleep. What would you love? Okay, because we're becoming, I'll circle back to this. What would you love? So, hold on, let me just pause and check on something. Okay, great. Okay, so when we have clarity on what we would love to create, and then we do something called hang with the tension, okay, which means you've got clarity on what you would love, okay, the end result, an amazing night's sleep, and you've got clarity in where you are now in relation to that. You have created, you have allowed tension to emerge. You got point A, what you'd love. Point B, where am I now in relation to that? Okay. Just because you've got clarity on those 2 points, you've become a powerful creator. You're real about your current reality. And you've got clarity in what you'd love to create, just because you'd love it. This is the path of least resistance. These 2 points, this tension has to resolve, okay? And you will create that end result. That was the first answer, and it was powerful. It was revolutionary for me in my life. The second answer, through working with a magical elixir in the highlands of Guatemala, I was guided to the highlands of Guatemala. I had no idea. This is me living my intuitive, magical life. I rocked up to San Marcos, which is a little village on a lake in the highlands of Guatemala. Okay. No idea why I was there. Fear started to come up. And then I heard about a magical elixir. And I went to a ceremony, okay, working with shamans. I realized not only was I an empath, but one of my biggest dreams manifested. And that was, let me ask you a question, but first. Have you ever heard people say, we are love? That's what we are in our essence. Okay. Whatever the question, love is the answer. So I was curious about all of this, and I knew it in my head. And also, I'd fallen in love with someone, and I got a bit of a bee in my bonnet. I didn't want to feel this amazing feeling of love dependent on someone being in my life. Okay, I wanted to be love. I wanted to be that energy. Okay, you know, when you fall in love, like everything looks beautiful. Life is amazing. Okay, I didn't want anything external world to be the trigger for that. I wanted to be able to, I didn't know this yet, but I wanted to be able to allow this feeling, this being, this energy to be me, to come from within me. And this happened in a ceremony, working with this beautiful elixir. And I've got really good news for you. It's legal. Cacao, chocolate. So I learned how to embody love, to be in oneness, to be one with my creations and end results. Okay, a shaman had told me a couple of decades before, you got to be it to see it, Jerry. I was trying, to sort out my money issues. And he said, you've got to be it to see it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I've got to be rich, and then I'll be rich. So I started spending money that I didn't have, and that wasn't it. And it took me a decade more to get this, to really get this. Okay. So what would it be like? Just say, let's use the example of money. What would it be like if you had like more than enough money? Okay. What would that be like? What would life be like? How would you feel? So you've got to be that to see that. And this is one of the things that I work with and share with my clients as a sleep consultant. What will it be like when you sleep amazingly? You see, because we're not going to create something if we're not in emotional alignment with it. Does that make sense? So I learned how to be love and how to be one with the end result that I wanted to create. And I saw miracles with clients in ceremonies and one-to-one. You know, the superpowers of my clients and myself were unleashed. And neuroscience, you see, the shamans and the alchemists have been telling us this for hundreds and thousands of years. And now neuroscience actually proves what these ancient alchemists and shamans have been teaching for centuries. And I started, as I said, to witness miracles in ceremonies. And then the third answer, accessing our superconscious abilities. This is a profound system which actually gets your neurons to fire together and wire together, which rewires your brain. And this creates new patterns. It allows you to drop resistance. And you see, epigenetics and neuroscience prove that we can change and we can create the reality that we want. Finally, I had the 3 keys to the universe. So I want to, let me just tell you a little bit about rewiring your brain. This is based on the work of Dr. Gary Flint, who's now retired, and he was working with people with PTSD and very serious trauma. And basically what you do is you ask, because we have 3 memories. We have our superconscious, which has been with us through all time and space. Okay. Then we have our superconscious, excuse me. And then we have our unconscious, and our unconscious memory comes in about the 3rd trimester, and it's in charge of learning language, growing the body. Okay. And then we have our self-conscious. Some people call this the ego. And that comes in between the ages of about 4 and 7 years old. And it's when we realize that we're separate from our parents, that we're a separate being. Okay. And so we've got those 3 memories, but the superconscious, it only wants experiences. So you can actually direct your superconscious to show it and tell it what experiences you want. Okay. And I have a longer training where I go into this in much more detail. But basically you can instruct your superconscious to not only drop the resistance, to let go of what no longer serves you and rewire your brain, but also you can tell it, what is it I want to create? Let's choose this. So I choose the end result of being vibrantly healthy. And because you are then focused in that area, you're focused on that end result, you can create that. So you must be in your future feeling now. You've got to be truly satisfied with how life is now, but know that you want more. Okay. So we must let go of trying to get somewhere or get away from something. So the first 3 steps of the MM method are, what would you love? What would you love? What is it you'd love? So let's say overflowing with money. Let's use money as one of the examples, or maybe it's a fantastic night's sleep every night. Vibrant health and energy. What would you love? and put that in all positives. So I choose the end result of a life I adore. I choose the end result of vibrant health and energy. I choose the end result of, overflowing with money. And have a think. So let's spend a moment here, okay? How will life be when you have that? What will life be like? How will your life be when you have that? What will you be doing? Where will you be? What will you be playing at? How will life be? And it's okay if you find this difficult. That's fine. You're new to this. And now the second step is to ground that. Okay? Where are you now? Like, what's current reality like? So in relation to what you want to create, and this is something I used to be really difficult at. This is something I used to find really difficult because I used to be Mrs. Positive, and I can't think of a negative thought, otherwise I attract it. But no, you see, alchemy teaches us that you've got to have your feet on the ground. Yeah, head in the clouds, great. But when your feet are on the ground, then you have a chance of creating what you love. It's like if I just saying I want to create an amazing night's sleep or vibrant health and energy. I've got to know where I am now in relation to that to create it. If you want to fly to New York and you don't know where you are, you're not going to be able to plan that journey, to make that journey. Okay, it's the same thing. So these are the first 3 steps. So where are you now? Like, what do you believe about creating that end result that you want? Do you think you're not good enough? Do you think that vibrant health and energy or whatever is only for other people, the pretty people, the lucky people, the rich people? What are the thoughts? What are the worries? Like, really, let's get down into the dirt here. Like, what is this that we can alchemize? Be really real about those worries, those fears, etc. Okay, so what's your current reality? And then the third step is to get a number for that resistance. So what if you were to put all of that negativity into an imaginary bag and give it a number, with 10 being the most resistance you could imagine, and 0 is 0, no resistance, all good, all good. What number would you give it? Just allow the first number to come to you. This is the resistance that's potentially stopping you from creating what you want. Okay? Some of it's conscious, some of it's unconscious. And in my longer trainings, and when I work one-to-one with people, we really go into this because there's a lot of the reasons why we're not creating what we want that are not conscious to us. And when we only work with the conscious mind, it's like we're only working with the 10% of the iceberg that's showing. And all the other stuff, the negative beliefs, that maybe even stuff that you're carrying from your ancestors, that's all there. But when we're working with the method, you can call on your superconscious, because your superconscious knows why the resistance was created. So your superconscious can, when you go, superconscious, this is what I want. Okay, I want to have overflowing money and abundance. I want to have vibrant health and energy. When you tell it what you want, we have a special command that we give the superconscious that gets the superconscious to drop the resistance. Okay, so I'm going to help you a little bit. Okay, so we just looked at the first 3 steps of the method. And the first one is, what would you love? And here are some choices. Here are some things that you can focus on that might help you. I choose the end result of being vibrantly healthy. I choose the end result of being the predominant creative force in my life. I choose the end result of living my true nature and purpose. I choose the end result of a life I adore. When you speak these out first thing in the morning, what it's doing is it's telling all levels of your consciousness, your superconscious, your unconscious, and your self-conscious. This is where I'm headed today. This is what I want to create. Okay. So what you're doing is you're stopping the 90% of that wibbly wobbly iceberg, which are all the negatives, is all the negative stuff. You're stopping that from unconsciously manifesting in your life. Does that make sense? You're going, this is where I'm headed. Let's create that today. So you're becoming a conscious creator of what you do want. Who wants some of that in their life? Who wants some of that? Yeah. So the second step, the current reality, okay? Where are you now? What's your current reality like? We have resistance. Why do we create resistance? I'll tell you why we create resistance. We create resistance so that when we don't create what we want, okay? So that when we don't create what we want, it gives us an excuse. Oh, it's just because of this. It's because of this, okay? Because it's easier to stay safe in our comfort zone sometimes than actually to move out of it and go, you know what? I want to create vibrant health and energy, and I'm going to do it. Our ego doesn't want us to. Our ego wants us to stay in the same old, even if it's miserable and it's you not sleeping and it's you broke or it's you not having the love relationship or horrible health or whatever. If you keep doing something and you haven't died from it, literally, it's this crazy. The ego is happy for you to continue doing it. Okay, because it rationalizes if they keep doing this and they haven't died, then cool. But if they're gonna go for their big dream, or they're gonna change their habits, maybe clean up their bedroom, or incorporate some of those magical sleep hygiene things like bin the devices and create an amazing, beautiful, lush bedroom, which is only for relaxing and not for working and not for playing on your phone. Or if you're going to change your habits so that you are creating the foundation for incredible sleep. Weirdly enough, the ego might not want you to, which is barking, isn't it? So we create resistance so that we can stay in the same old. Okay. Is this making sense? I know it's a lot of new material. It's why we call it revolutionary. But I'll give you an invitation to join me on a longer training at the end of this call, so that you can dive deeper into this. So in terms of our current reality and the resistance, and things might be stopping us from creating what we love, we have sabotaging beliefs. Okay, what's a belief? It's something that you keep thinking long enough that you start to believe it. The first one is that I'm unworthy or I'm unlovable. I might not be worthy of having great health or incredible relationships or a career that I love or abundance or whatever. And the second one is I'm not good enough. Okay, this person with a not good enough belief, usually they have lots and lots and lots of degrees. And they're like, oh, if I just have one more degree, then I'll be good enough. And they think that they've got to be good enough to have what they love. The next one is I don't belong. Okay. So a person with a belief that they don't belong will either really desperately try and fit in or never feel that they belong anywhere, and they'll strive for that. or they'll do things to make themselves really like an outsider. The next one is I'm insignificant or invisible. And this person likes to stay small. Maybe they might want to stay small, but then the other side of it is that sometimes they want to save the world, because then that'll make them significant. Okay. The next one is I'm not capable. This person doesn't think they're capable of having what they love. Okay. So they keep doing things to show that they're not capable and prove that belief. And then the final belief for today is I need to be perfect. This person, everything, someone with this belief, everything has to be perfect. With someone with this belief, you'll see their appearance is always perfect. Okay. And they think things are to be perfect so that they can have what they love, or that they can be loved. So I just wanted to share some of the beliefs, because it's really important that you see what jumped for you in terms of creating what you love. Like what popped? Are there any of those beliefs that resonate that you think you might have that could be stopping you from creating what you love? So I'm going to share the 5 steps. 5 steps. No, just 5 steps with you now. What would you love? That's the first step. What would you love? And what will your life be like when you have that? How will it be? And really get into that end result. Oh my God, how will that be? That's the first step. The second step is, well, where are you now? You know, be real with yourself. Allow yourself to be gritty, to see how maybe horrible life is. Maybe you're exhausted. Maybe you've got absolutely no energy. And then maybe you're grumpy with people. Maybe your business, your career is suffering, your relationships. Allow yourself to be really real about how horrible it is at the moment in relation to what you want to create. And then what's the resistance? What's in the way? Give that a number. 10 being the most resistance you can imagine, and 0 being no resistance, absolutely 0. I can flow towards my dreams. And now the 4th step is re-sparking the brain, creating those new neural pathways. And I'm actually going to give you an opportunity right now. I'm going to ask your permission to connect with your superconscious, and ask it. You know, it's a lot more complicated than that, but I wanted to give you an experience of this today, because you can communicate with your superconscious. Give it, you've got the clarity of what you'd love to create. You've got the clarity on where you are now in relation to that. You know the amount of resistance, okay? So then you actually, well, I will ask your superconscious to just let some of that go today. Let some of that go, okay? So allow me permission to connect with your superconscious. Just say yes in your mind. Just give me permission. And I'm going to connect with your subconscious. Superconscious, are you there? Yeah. Superconscious, for everyone listening to this, from now right through into posterity, thank you, thank you, thank you. Can you please do a massive change history? And everything is needed. See, they've got clarity in what they'd love. We've seen where they are now in relation to that. So we've got family patterns. We've got beliefs, we've got worries, thoughts and feelings. And we've also got the chakra system, this There's something about the spinal area, the hips. Just a misalignment. And that's also linked in. So it's a physical, it's physical, it's spiritual, it's emotional, but it's also a lack of alignment, true alignment with what they'd love. So let's realign that so that we're all focused on creating what we love just because we love it, not because it's going to prove to other people that we're worthy or that we're lovable. We want to create the end result we want just because we love it, just because we love it. Okay. Super conscious. He's tag and treat, do a massive change history and everything is needed. Thank you. And just breathe, just feel free to close your eyes and breathe and notice what you notice. You might feel twitches, twinges. This is a beautiful, beautiful process. It's allowing you to realign with your heart, with what you'd love, dropping that resistance. Thank you, super conscious. So come back to me and let me know if you're listening to the recording. You can always message me, but what's the resistance number now? So what was it when you started and what is it now? 10, 3, 8, 5, 8, 3, 7, 2. Good. Okay, good. So we're going to go back in. There's a lot of you have dropped quite a lot, but let's go back in. 5, 0. Well done. Okay. So give me permission again. Super conscious, see you there. Thank you. So super conscious. Yeah. Okay. So I'm getting a resistance to change some habits, you know, things that are not good for sleep, recommendations. So there's something around eating late at night, drinking, using devices on the phone. And I'm also getting like when you know, awakening in the night and allowing the worries and the thoughts and everything to get hold and grabbing the phone and then that light, you know, ruining any sleep that might come after. So I'm seeing all of these habits. So can you please tag and treat, do a massive change history and everything is needed around just following through on the action that we're guided to take to create an incredible night's sleep. So please tag and treat, do a massive change history and everything is needed. Thank you. And now there's something around belief that they can create what they love, belief that they can have a life they adore, belief that they can have vibrant health and energy and alignment with that vision. So any resistance, any fears, any lack of belief, please tag and treat and do a massive change history and everything is needed. Thank you. All right, gently come back to me. Let me know how you're doing now. Good. Okay, great. Some really, really big drops. So your first number and where you are now. This was a simple introduction. No, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a lot more complicated and there's a lot more knowledge that you need to really get the full experience. You will see a shift. You know, we've got people from all over the world, really, and there's been a massive shift, and some people find a massive shift just after a very brief intro. But to maintain that, you need to keep for at least a couple of months, just to keep what's the word? You know, neurons that fire together, wire together, strengthening those neural pathways. As Dr. Joe Dispenza says, neurons that fire together, wire together. So that's what we're doing right now. We're creating new neural pathways, and we need to strengthen those. So some great results: 10-0, 8-1, 7, okay, 7-5, just a little, but some movement. So that's good. Okay, so they are the 5 steps, but the most important one is, I'd love you to now just imagine you have what you'd love to create. Okay, you had an end result, whatever that was, a life you adore, vibrant health and energy. I want you to step back into that end result imaginatively. Close your eyes, really feel like that's already been created. Okay, and now I want you to imagine that you're looking behind at you today in current reality, and notice what's the next action that you took to create that end result of amazing sleep, vibrant health and vitality, etc. What was the action that you took? And write it down. Feel free to share with me. And it's important that you take that action. You see, you know that you've cleared resistance when you can take that action. So well done, everyone. This is what you must let go of, okay? And everyone, I have not worked with anyone that hasn't got great results from this, but you must let go of some things. And here's what you must let go of: bad habits, negative beliefs, some of the things in your current environment, behavior, stories, emotions, sabotage patterns, some rules that don't resonate, that don't work, identity, family entanglement, and feelings of incompleteness. So you must have a daily meditation so that you can recondition your brain and body and strengthen those neural pathways. And I have lots of those that I can provide for you. So these are the steps to stay in action. What is it you'd love? Notice the pattern. Stop doing what you've always done, and ask yourself this important question, because imagine what it's going to be like when you can sleep amazingly. You have that life you adore. You got all the energy, the excitement, the happiness. How incredible is that going to be? So I want you to, from that imagining of being that person, I want to ask you, what would that person that you're becoming now do right now? What would they do? Would they step up? Would they contact me to book a call so they can join the program and sleep incredibly? What would they do? I invite you to jump in and to get the proven support, because you too can live a life you adore. And it starts with a fantastic night's sleep. I'm going to share a few testimonials with you. Jerry's insomnia curing course was really magical. I slept throughout the night afterwards, and I found it helpful having 5 steps to follow to be able to make positive changes. Thank you. And that was Rebecca in the UK. Having made many efforts on my own and with coaches, I met Jerry, who's helped me remove deep blocks to my progress. The results have been remarkable. In the first few months, my earnings tripled. My energy levels were higher than the last 15 years. There was a huge improvement in the harmony between me and everyone else in my life. I know that Jerry has trained hard to reach this point, but she must surely be remarkably gifted to have this effect. And this was an article, this was in the Daily Mail in the UK. I've had insomnia since I was 12. For decades, I would be up most nights. I was in utter turmoil. I was prescribed antidepressants, then temazepam. After 10 years, I saw Jerry. I was soon calmer and happier. I started to go to sleep at 11 p.m. and wouldn't wake until 7 a.m. I still enjoy sleeping normally. And that is Natalie in the UK. And as I said, that was in the newspaper. Look, there's many, many more. I'm not going to bore you with them all. Jerry has brought the spark back to my life. I genuinely didn't feel able to face the world until we started working together. I feel freed and ready to create once again. Look, I have the answer. This worked for me. I used to have sleep apnea. I used to have insomnia, horrendous health. I was headed to the grave, honestly. And if I can do it, so can you. If my clients can do it, so can you. This is not for special people. It's not for healthy people. It's not for any. It's not for rich. It's not for pretty people. This is for everyone. This is for you. Okay. I didn't know any of this, and I sought out the right strategies. I applied myself and then created vibrant health and energy and an amazing life. And you can too. So did you enjoy our time together? I hope so. And I would love to chat with you, because just imagine if you could completely rewire your limits and learn to consciously manifest, what would you create? So I invite you to book a call with me, or download my my guide. I'm here to assist you. I'm here to help you. I love you so much, and I want you to have a life you adore. So take action and sleep magically. This is the link, manifest.youcanbookme.me, or just go to my website, souldiscoveryacademy.com. So what we've done is we've gone through the 5-step MM method. Hopefully I've given you hope that you can not only have a fantastic night's sleep, but actually create even more of a life you adore. So contact me. I'm going to see you next week. We'll be back with another interview, and I love you so, so much. See you next time. Bye, beauty.